Hello and welcome to my channel. This video is about how your loyalty is keeping you poor. Are you experiencing any of these symptoms? A sudden emergency when money comes in. You are the only child asked to raise the rest of your siblings. You give to the point where you barely have enough to meet your own needs. If not, it's an unfortunate news, but I have to let you know that you are being loyal to an internal script of loyalty that is working against you. Now, this loyalty in society, especially societies of color, is actually lauded as a good thing. You see societies where people actually praise for these kind of attributes. But before I go on, let me quickly introduce myself. Hi, if you're new here, my name is Uchenna. I am a psychic advisor and a psychic medium. My goal is to help you to uncover the hidden parts of yourself that are keeping you stuck and keeping you in forever beginning cycles. So now let's get to the video. Now I talked about how loyalty is keeping you in a state of stuckness. It's keeping you, in essence, in a state of lack and poverty. Now, many of us are aware of the elder child syndrome, where the elder child is expected to take responsibility of the younger ones. In fact, in many communities, the community I come from, it is actually seen as an attribute. People are given titles for it. They are praised. They tell other people, why don't you be like that person? Look at how he's giving everything he owns to the point of having nothing. He's a good person. While we do want to encourage altruism and giving as part of our societal structure, we have unwittingly allowed this fake label of it being a good and positive attribute to prevent the people who are taking advantage of the situation. You know, their real motives are not being exposed. The real motives of the people are doing this and who are pre-packaging it as something good. The real motive is to keep you poor, keep you in cycles of poverty and lack, always making sure you don't have enough money to take care of yourself. Also make sure you're always experiencing some anxiety around money. When they say things like, well, if you won't help poor people, you never know, nobody knows tomorrow, who knows what's going to happen to you tomorrow, to try to drive home that point that you should give to the point of impoverishment. We see this encouraged in certain societies. We see this encouraged in certain religions where they are asked you to give to the point of pain. If your giving doesn't hurt, you haven't given to God. And it is my position, as being a psychic medium for many years, that good spirits, positive spirits, will never ask you to harm yourself or anyone else for your benefit or for their benefit. This is the work of very difficult, demanding, very mean and nasty spirits masquerading as benevolent deities and spirits. Okay, a good spirit will never ask you to harm yourself, and would always ask you to give out of your abundance. So what they do is they keep you in this cycle of poverty. Once the money comes in, it goes out. Once the money comes in, it goes out. If you're not experiencing this, it's not very apparent. The spiritual symptoms of this, what I'm describing, would be you dream of eating. Now, what does that even mean, that you're dreaming of eating? It just means what they're doing is they're using the law of sympathy, that sympathetic magic, to make it like every time you swallow and the food has to go down your digestive tract, that is how they are slowing down your progress. If you're having dreams of eating, if you're giving things away, giving bags away, or people are snatching your things in the dream, or you're dreaming and someone else is driving the car, they're taking funds away, either that everyone's eating and that you're not allowed to sit at the table, or you're eating and by the time you get there all the food is gone, or someone is taking from the plate of your children. That is a sign that it has gone beyond physical, and there's a spiritual manifestation of this, keeping someone in a cycle of lack. Dreaming of empty plates, someone else dining or showing you empty plates. Now, what does this have to do with why? The question is, why would anyone want to put you in a cycle of misery? You say, well, Chena, my parents are good people. They haven't done anything wrong. This is what we've always done in our family. Because sometimes some of these ideas start getting passed down generationally, and the people who first passed it down, did not realize they were participating, they were being taken advantage of, and they really believed they were doing something good. So they taught it to their progeny. It's at this point, it's taking on the life of a generational curse. Why did they do it? They do it for control. It's called cut down to control. There are many ways in this functions. They will say they might enroll for those of us in the diaspora, which is what we call ourselves when we move from Africa or Western African countries or African countries in general to the United States. They would enroll the children in very expensive private schools, and call you all of a sudden and say, oh, school fees is due. So, now you have this knight in shining armor image to uphold, and they're using it to take advantage of you and take money from you. Why? So that they can control you. It's not really about the money. It's more about control. They want to keep you at a manageable size, because if you get too big, too rich, too powerful, they will not be able to control you. So that is why they do this. They make it easier for them to control you spiritually, physically, and financially. So the lack of spiritual control is when you see yourself, other people are driving and you don't know where they're going. This is a sign that someone else is dictating how your life is going and how your life is moving, especially financially, when you can't seem to get out of the rat race of just money, bills. And even if you get a little bit of leeway, they manufacture a bill, or the car breaks down, or some type of misfortune visits the person. Now, how they have been able to get away with doing this for so long is because this behavior has been seen as something positive in the community. For instance, the West African community I come from, they will give the person a title. They will say, Akane Melora, or Obiora. Oh, this one that helps everyone, the hand that helps everyone, the one that has a heart to help everyone. Basically, they are encouraging you by stroking your ego into giving till it is detrimental to you. And I strongly believe, as a psychic, that it is not in line with nature to give till you are depleted. That is why there is seed time and harvest. In the harvest time, the tree or your plants or your fruit, they give you of the fruit they have, of the abundance of the fruit. And then when it's time for them to rest and recuperate and bring forth fruit again, that's what they do. So this behavior of constant giving is not in alignment with nature. In the beginning, I said I am a psychic medium, but I am an initiate also in Omenana Indigo, meaning that I am an initiate in studying the Igbo spiritual science and the spirituality of how we do things in Igbo land. Okay, so it is not in alignment with nature. If it is not in alignment with nature, it is an aberrant. It is not sustainable, pretty much. So someone who is asking you to go beyond even what nature is capable of doing is asking you to destroy yourself, and they are lauding you, praising you, giving you accolades while you're on your way to self-destruction. The goal of these people is to keep you small. The goal of these people is to keep you anxious. The goal of these people is to keep you controllable. We see this at a micro level in families, in the community. It could be like when one child starts to show promise that they want to go to school, they might complain of poverty. And when one child wants to go to school, get a scholarship, everybody starts saying, you have changed. You've started acting white. You've started talking white. Would you think you're better than us? Cutting you down so that you forget about going to college and doing something good for yourself and take a job with them at the Amazon warehouse, where they can all complain about being having their rights taken away from them. So it's a group thing to keep the people small. They make it look like community is all we have. We're afraid of the outside world. Don't do anything to go outside, using fear as a control mechanism. But the real thing is that the community leaders do not want the younger or the people of the group to ever exceed past a financial level, because they feel that they will not be able to control them. It has always been about control. So how they do this, I already told you how to do this. So what the underlying mischief of the spiritual, because I have my notes here, I wrote it down so that it can be clear, is to keep you distracted and burned out so that you are not able to build your life. You are 40 years old, you are pushing 50, you haven't been able to buy a property, buy land, or do anything because they keep interfering with you spiritually, to keep you in cycles of poverty, anxiety, and lack. They when that's not enough, they interfere with you spiritually. They come into your dreams and mess things around so that you don't have control about where your life is going. You can't define yourself. Which reminds me, I saw an ad from a popular church that said, you know, this pastor, I'm not going to say his name, that always has this smiley face. He has a big church in Texas. He said that only God has the ability to give you a personality. Only God can assign a personality to you. So I think it was a subtle dig at the I use the word alternate community. Alternate sounds chic to me. Alternate community. But what they don't realize is going on is that people don't realize that there is no God outside yourself. It is not it is not the church, it is not the government, it's no one. It is you. You are that God. You are that God that should be defining yourself. Because if you do not define yourself, other people will define yourself for you. They will use media, they will use any platform, music, dance, fashion, science, medicine. They can use anything to try to mold a version of you they can control. They can whip you out during elections. They can whip you out mostly during politics, during religion, when they're fighting over resources, when they want license to attack another country unjustly, or attack another people or another person unjustly. They whip you out and they manipulate you, and you wouldn't even realize it because they're telling you, you're a good person, you're wonderful, you help everyone, you don't even have anything, That's what they do. I saw a video of the other day. Say, this man is a popular rock and roll, but he wears dirty t-shirts, he wears tattered jeans, and he's always handing out cigarettes and hanging out in the homeless encampment. I'm like, no, the man is the drug addict with a mental illness. But they want to pre-package his lack of self-control and lack of agency as an act of altruism so that they can control the people who listen to his music or buy into that ideology. So we should be very, very careful. There are a lot of people that are vying for control, for our attention, for our mind, because they want control. They want to be able to have people to use. Either at the home level, we see with parents who burden their children with bills, who burden their children with the responsibility of raising their younger siblings, who always manufacture bills, they manufacture illness, they go spiritual. They try to control these people by keeping them in cycles of poverty so they don't achieve anything, just so they can control. It is the mentality of, I want to be the only one with resources in the family, but I can't exceed that person, so I'm going to do it by putting that other person down. It's cut down to control. So what do we do about all this when you figure it out? You have to, first of all, identify the key words, the implanted keywords, the implanted thought patterns that have been put into your subconscious to so that you whenever you try to take a move towards what you're working towards, or when it's time for you to be aggressive to take what is yours, you fall back into your people pleasing, your group acceptance mentality, and not go for what you really want. You have to identify that keyword that is keeping you stuck in spots of inactivity, unable to take action, or taking inconsistent action, or not showing up enough for yourself. Okay, because you have been told that showing up for others is preferable. It's a virtuous thing. Showing up for yourself is selfish, is evil, is bad. But showing up for others to the point that it hurts you is altruism and is good. It's one of the reasons, in my opinion, we have martyrs. In certain religious bodies, there's a martyr, one who gives everything, incinerates themselves for others, and they tell people, this is what you need to aspire to. We'll keep the money and the influence. We just need you guys to work yourselves to the bone and if you need to die, incinerate yourself, and you'll be lauded as a hero. Everyone will recognize you as a hero. So they have been doing this to steal people's destinies. So once you identify that thought pattern in the collective consciousness, in the collective, the goal is to identify that thought, because what this is doing is that it's keeping you in a state of not being able to self-actualize and actually bring your light to the world, which is which is keeping you preoccupied with putting out small fires. So once you understand that, you're able to identify that root pattern, because it's different for everyone, then you take back your energy. You recognize the patterns. And how do you take back your energy? There are certain prayers you need to do. There are certain rituals. But the key point, or even therapy. Some people have been able to do it through therapy. It might take a little longer, but it is possible. So what I'm seeing that it is not the same for everyone. Oh, and Spirit wanted me to add a bonus. They wanted you to know that it is important that you have the keys to your own subconscious mind right now, because of all these foreign scripts that have been interjected into your mind from childhood. Someone else holds the keys. The keys are not with you. Basically, your life is running on someone else's program. So in order for you to get the keys back to your subconscious mind and gain control of the physical, many of us are still in the physical, but we have to remember that the spiritual controls the physical, and then we can do things in the physical to also, impact the spiritual. Okay, even though the spiritual impact is stronger. Okay, if you are dealing with stuckness, not being unable to hold on to money, the key to your subconscious mind is with someone, and we need to find that key, and we need to get your key back from whoever that person is. Disempower them, give your power back to you, so that you can take control of your life and finally build what you want, and finally have the energy. Some of you don't even have the drive. You have it in your mind, but you don't have the drive, because the key to your power plant of yourself, the key to your programming system, is in someone else's hand, and someone else is basically keeping you in a state of uselessness till the day they want to manipulate you for their own cause. Then they whip you out, right? So what I offer is an opportunity for you to get into your own subconscious mind through a psychic reading. Many of you have seen these readings, and you look at general readings, which is great, where they look at the collective consciousness. But you have to realize that this collective consciousness, up to a certain level, has been hijacked by certain ideas and ideologies and certain ways of being that make it impossible for people to really actualize themselves in this life. So when you come to me, I have a 3-page PDF option. I ask you to pick that because I do have a PDF option and a live option. The PDF option is very, very affordable. You get a 3-page document outlining what this subconscious running program is, that is really actually a virus, a misaligned programming that is making it impossible for you to take action. We identify it, and some of you might require a ritual, some of you might not require a ritual, depending on your situation, on how to take your keys back. If it is something spiritual, psychological, that's easily dealt with. If it's something spiritual, we will now ask Spirit and your guides to come forward to bring us the solution to that problem. All right, thank you very much for showing up today to listen to my beautiful video on how these people are using loyalty, especially those of us that work in corporations where we're loyal, and when they're done with us after 35 years, boom, they throw you out, no job, nothing else to do. You've been loyal for nothing. They just harvested your loyalty to build their empire, and now you're out. If that's you have this subconscious print definitely in your mind, and I encourage you to reach out to me today, and I will talk to you later. Until my next video, bye and I'll see you soon.